Hey guys, Fusion here. I wasn't actually expecting to make a video at all today. In fact, I wasn't expecting to make one for a while because got a new mic coming in. Not entirely sure what kind of content you guys want. Don't know if you wanted gameplay or analysis or me to try something new. Fuck, do you want me to do you want me to empty a dehumidifier? But then I suppose, well, then sometimes, the world hands you gifts, and sometimes they just go, behold, content. Deal with it as you wish. Um, so I was just happily scrolling through Twitter, Facebook, all the usual stuff, and whilst I was procrastinating, I came across a bit of a video, and it's the champion trailer for Aphelios, the new. I think it's an ADC marksman. The fuck he is. I have no clue. So I thought we'd watch the video, have a look at the information that that Riot has provided to us, and then hopefully look at some actual skins that they're going to be releasing in I think it's the Nightbringer and New Dawn or something along those lines. Anyway, all the skins have been shown, and there's some Christmas themed skins. I'm gonna go through it all. So if we just start with the video, we're gonna have a look at this. Drinking that slurp.
This will be your voice.
Holy Jesus. What is that? What the fuck is that?
Okay. Sniper from Halo. Yeah, boy.
So many weapons, Aphelios. The deadliest is your faith.
Yeah. Okay, so what I got from that is that he's got far too many damn weapons. He looks real complicated. He seems definitely ranged for sure. Definitely ranged. Well, I'm assuming one's a sniper, the other one is some sort of like cannon. I assume they're just different types. Oh well, let's go into what damn report they've given us. So here's his kit. So I've had a quick scroll through, didn't have time to read all of it, but let's see what we got. So apparently he's gonna be really complicated. I've seen that his HUD, he's actually only be working off 3 buttons. Basically a Q ability, swap weapons, and ult, which makes it quite easy. But from basically, I've had a read through, and it seems really complicated. They kept it what seems mechanically simple, but I think the actual play, the way you have to play them, looks really, really, really complicated. So damn, one weapon wasn't enough apparently. They just went, here, have a weapon.
Another one, another one, another one, another one, another one.
Great Christ. So from what I've seen, so we have the Calibrum, which is the rifle for poke and harass. when abilities deal damage with equilibrium, they mark the enemy hit. Aphelios can right-click the marked targets anywhere on the map. Okay. To follow up with a basic attack from his offhand weapon. Oh yeah, so he has two weapons. He has an offhand and a primary weapon. So you can swap between the two. And from what I read, there's an ammo or limit to each one. When you run out, they just cycle. But that's covered, I think, later on in this bit. So it looks like if it says that you're able to hit marked enemies anywhere on the map, either the mark stays for a really long time because it's implying that you can effectively do this across the map. It seems global, which basically suggests that it's either going to be a long mark because then that means you can TP away or back and then still click on them, or the initial shot to mark them is going to be a stupidly long range, which hopefully not, because then you can just put him and Senna together and it's going to be disgusting. So what's the Q? Q is a fire skill shot that damages the first enemy human that marks them. Okay, so it's a hit and mark, and then you can right click them, a bit like Swain. When he hits his skill shot, you can right click and then it just drags them forward. So it seems similar to that, but by the sounds of it, because it hits it with the offhand weapon, depending on whatever weapon you have offhand might change whatever secondary effect there may be. So it seems quite complicated just off the get-go. The Moonlight Vigil Calibrum effect. It will follow up attack marks on enemy hits. These deal higher when consumed. Okay. Okay, so it seems like an extension of the original bit. I'm assuming this is some sort of alt effect. Okay, so then we have the Scythe Pistol. Cerebrum sustain weapon that heals. Oh boy. Oh dear, so you can overheal into. So basically, they've given him a bloodthirster and just put it into a gun effectively. The Q gain movements. Amplify weapon offhand and offhand weapons the nearest enemy. Okay, so I quite like the idea that that is just. It sounds a bit like Ezreal when he teleports, it just attacks the nearest thing. So that could be quite handy, and especially the movement speed and rapid fire. It just sounds like they're just taking different abilities from different champions and just mashing them all together, really. It sounds a bit like a mash between Ezreal and Jace. Jace is an attack speed bonus on pressing, I think this is W or a Q, whatever. And then the Ezreal teleport auto fire. Then we have the effect flat heal, so straight up heal. Gravitum the cannon. So I love the designs of all these. Gravitum is a utility weapon that applies decaying slow. Okay, so slow damages and roots all enemies on the map. Once again, it's suggesting that it's global. Christ, how much power is this guy gonna have? 9,000. Eclipse doesn't use Aphelios offhand weapon. Okay, so it seems like when you have that one on, that's all you have to prevent it from being too powered. Increase slow. Okay, so this is basically like your root. I'm starting to think that this plus a Senna or this plus this plus anyone who can root. I mean, it could be good on taking once again Swain, taking what's his name with the gun. I can't remember him. The 4-shot guy who can root.
Why are we still here? Just to suffer?
I wish I could remember, but I'll probably have it on the screen somewhere, blatantly obvious. Infernum, the flamethrower, great. AoE wave clear deals increase. Oof. So he's got built-in Titanic Hydra as well. What's the point? I wonder if it stacks up with a Titanic Hydra. Q spans the wave flame, then so basically like a rumble. So it's a two-handed weapon. Basically, the two-handed weapons can't use your offhand. Okay, that would make sense. Falls attack create damage circles around enemy hit instead.
Summon, I'm a demon, I'm a you assuming I'm a human. What I gotta do to get it through to you? I'm superhuman, innovative, and I made a rubber so that anything you say is big as.
Okay. Another one. Christ. Crescendo is a DPS weapon, boomerang, so a bit like a Gnar. Once it feels with it can't tell it returns to him, but his attack resets. Attack speed increases. Then the closer is to okay. So effectively, it's cross between like Gnar's boomerang and Draven's axes. Okay, and deploys a turret. Okay. If Moonlight Visual hits fewer than 3 enemies, the follow-up attack can still increase the damage of... Jesus. Okay, so this is the HUD that we're talking about. So you only have a Q, a W, and an R. So the W swaps these two. So your primary, your offhand weapon, you swap them. So it's like primary, secondary from any shooter that you've ever played. One passive explaining Aphelios' weapon and leveled up. Okay, so there'll be more to this. Okay, so 3. So okay, so 3 is the Q ability. W is swap weapons. R is an alt. Gotcha. The weapon of fate must. Okay, so it looks really damn complicated. Where's any information on his ult? Did I skip that? Probably did. Oh. Abilities. Level ups. Okay, so he automatically learns his Q and R. That's interesting. So you don't actually put points into the weapons, you put them into either attack damage, speed, or armor pen. Fucking hell. Put between them. Ultimate. Since for a moon bomb that explodes, damaging. That's basic attack. Okay, he sounds complicated in the sense that depending what your offhand weapon and your primary weapon is and how they cycle through, because from the looks of it, it's a cycle of the next weapon that has ammo, and then the primary weapon that runs out of ammo gets sent to the back of the queue, and you can't pick and select. It's a rotation, but you can kind of order it how you want by deciding how you want your weapons to run out of ammo. So that's where the skill ceiling I think is going to apply, is definitely when you have to decide which order, when order matters, but I think mechanically should be quite simple to play by the sounds of it, because you only have 3 buttons to deal with rather than the 4, but we'll see how that goes. Okay, so the big brain sad moon boy. Big brain, big thonk. Papa John's pizza.
We interrupt our program to bring you this important message.
Big brain, big thonk. Christ. Okay, so they're definitely memeing it up. Oh, this is a bit bright. Let's turn this down a bit. So faith is perseverance. I mean, it looks like they put definitely a lot of effort into deciding what he was supposed to be looking like. I wonder if we're gonna get any. Without reading all this, you can all read this in your own spare time. Sound effects. First move sound effects.
It always starts with pain. We can only do this together, Aphelios.
Bit creepy. Definitely sounds like. Yikes.
You walk the path of darkness, but you do not walk it alone, brother.
I can imagine this doing a nocturne ult being fucking terrifying. Christ almighty. So this is like how they built the HUD and how they decided to do it. I wonder if they have any sounds for the weapons or... here we go. Moonstone exploration. Very mystical. Bit creepy. It doesn't feel very League of Legends-ish. That was a cool sound. That was dummy loud. Okay, so that's that. All in all, I think it's gonna be a champion that I think one tricks are gonna get the most out of. It's gonna be stupid what they're gonna be able to do with it. In regards to people trying out for the first time, I think they'll be decent with it because it sounds like they built him to scale really well, especially with the whole level up system. And in addition to that, I think that the skill ceiling, as they mentioned, is going to be insanely high. Yeah, but it should be interesting. I'm looking forward to trying him out. definitely assassin, so I expect him to be really squishy, and I'm slightly worried about what his range is going to be, because if lots of things are global, it's suggesting that he's either going to be able to target them from across the map or have enough time to get across the map. I'm not entirely sure how it's going to be global. But yeah, that should be interesting. Now let's move on to the skins. So for anyone that isn't following me, we'll go over that in a second. Feel free to follow me. It's at Fuhsiion, just like the name. Okay, so if we just have a look at all the recalls, there's quite a few that have been. So there's a Dawnbringer Karma. Cool. There's the Nibbly. Ooh, that looks nice. Oh, that's pretty cool. So she gets 2 recalls, 2 for the price of 1. Oh, that's good. I like that one. That Soraka one. That's probably gonna cost like 500 quid. Lee Sin. Oh, that looks good. Oh, Hacker. That is. Oh, these are great. Oh, that Vlad looks sick. These skins are looking mighty fine. Okay, so that. Okay, so what else have we got? So we had all those, and then we have Nightbringer Lee Sin Prestige Edition. Okay, so I'm assuming this is gonna be like 100 prestige points. So anyone that's just spent unlucky, because this looks so good. That looks incredible. I love the skill shot. I love the look of it all. That. I think that might have to be what because I'm on. I think I'm on like 65. I'm almost there. And what we got here? Sugar Rush Braum. So these must be the best ones. Oh, they're very fun. I like that. Okay, so we've got the Evelyn. Very nice. Oh, that's a bit dark. All right. Okay. The Zillion. I like the Zillion one actually. This is nice. Ah. Look how wholesome that is. Okay, so now we've seen those, and I'm assuming that these are just the photos. Very nice. I do like this one. The Vladimir one is very nice. And the Prestige Edition Lee Sin. It looks very much like the Z skin. I can't remember exactly which one it is, but looks quite like that. But definitely prefer the Prestige Edition of the Lee Sin one. The Soraka recalls are incredible. I really like that. Oh, it's the Dawnbringer Soraka. So who was the other one? Was it? Oh, Nightbringer Soraka. Oh, she's got 2. Definitely a big fan of the Dawnbringer Soraka. Ah, didn't realize she got 2. Hextech Swain, nice. They're all just looking very fresh. I like them. I'm a bigger fan of the. Oh, we didn't. I don't know if we saw this one. The Hextech Swain. That is nice. Big fan of that. Very big fan of that. That looks great. Oh no, I think they've done a really good job with skin. I'm not a massive fan of
boneless pizza with a 2 liter of Coke.
the Sugar Rush ones. Very big fan of the rest of them. Very big fan of that Lee Sin. Very big fan of the Swain, and that Soraka. Also the Vladimir. Very impressed by these skins. So yeah, I think I've covered everything that I think we needed to cover. I'm just trying to rush this out because I didn't realize that everything was coming out so quickly and just so much information just shot out. Um, for anyone that isn't following me on Instagram, feel free to follow me on Instagram. Should load my page up in a minute. Anytime today. It's the same. I have Twitter as well, so feel free to follow me on Twitter. And I hope you enjoyed it. Feel free to subscribe, and there's gonna be more shithousery, more streams, and more bullshit. Should be a lot better quality once my mic arrives. So yeah, feel free, enjoy, subscribe, do whatever you wish, and have a good night.